All right, we got one more clip. Here is Mike Pence. One of the things that I think is really underestimated that in Donald Trump's victory in 2016, because I think that, obviously it's been covered ad nauseum, all the different potential reasons why Donald Trump won. One that I believe has been completely underestimated was the open seat that Mitch McConnell, and certainly Mitch McConnell believes this, the open seat that Mitch McConnell essentially created on the Supreme Court when he wouldn't give a hearing to Merrick Garland. I believe personally that the Christian right was, I believe they made the difference possibly in the election. Just the idea that there was a Supreme Court seat that could be open. I mean, maybe not just the Christian right, but on the right, broadly speaking. And now they've sat two Supreme Court justices. Mike Pence is trying to, in some way, because he's the God squad in the Trump administration, trying to sort of regain some of that energy from 2016.
Are you scratching your head a little bit on John Roberts? I mean, we're not going to call him David Souter at this point, but conservatives have had a track record of having some problems with Supreme Court justices that you thought were going to be a reliable vote. Or at least when I say reliable vote, I'm just talking about, to adhere to conservative principles.
Look, we have great respect for the institution of the Supreme Court of the United States. But Chief Justice John Roberts has been a disappointment to conservatives, whether it be the Obamacare decision or whether it be a spate of recent decisions all the way through Calvary Chapel. It's a reminder, and I think several cases out of the Supreme Court are a reminder of just how important this election is for the future of the Supreme Court. We remember the issue back in 2016, which I believe loomed large in voters' decisions between Hillary Clinton and the man who would become president of the United States. And some people thought that it wouldn't be as big an issue these days, but I think that's all changed. The recent decision, and again, a narrow Supreme Court decision, striking down a Louisiana pro-life law that only said that doctors working in abortion clinics would have to have admitting privileges at local hospitals. That's a very modest restriction on abortion providers, but a narrow majority in the Supreme Court still said it was unacceptable. And I think it's been a wake-up call for pro-life voters around the country who understand, in a very real sense, the destiny of the Supreme Court is on the ballot in 2020. And that's why President Trump announced that he's going to publish another list of men and women from which he will draw any future appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States. He did that in 2016. He kept his word. He's going to do that in the fall of 2020. And in the next 4 years, he'll keep his word and appoint more principled conservatives to our courts.
Lucy, have you spent a lot of time with hardcore Christian conservatives?
I have not. I mean, look, I've got some, people in my family who are, Christian or, born again Christian, evangelical Christian. Nothing like these people, but, it's a,
these two guys sitting together seem to me to be the weirdest. It's like there's such a weird affectation to the conversation. It's so strange.
Yeah. All of this is the 700 Club, right?
Yep. Or yeah, CBN or one of those things. Yeah.
They all have that kind of droning. It's like they're trying to put you into a trance.
Sort of.
So they can sell you bunker feed at the end of the segment.
I mean, exactly. But there it is. I mean, they are trying to argue now that John Roberts is insufficiently conservative, complaining about the trap law decision that they made, and trying to drum up that Christian conservative vote for Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And I think of the various different elements that you can look at to determine whether Donald Trump is in trouble electorally this year, there's one right there. There's just not the same sort of impetus for the right to vote. The difference between there's an open seat and John Roberts is not as reliable as we thought he was. There's just like the messages are one is pretty compelling and the other is
right.
like
Yeah, I mean it's amazing how quickly conservatives will they'll give up the game in terms of just like the second one of their justices doesn't go for one tent pole and they're like death by 1,000 cuts strategy. It's like, oh, there's its own. It's like I saw conservatives doing the same thing with Gorsuch. When he sided with the majority on the LGBT rights issue, and it's just like it. Maybe there's just a sense of I don't know if like there really is a sense at this point of like, we got you in, you owe us, but it's like maybe there always has been, but it's like they're really like wearing it on their sleeve now.
They're relentless too. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a relentless agenda they're pursuing, and they're just really good about playing the aggrievement card when it doesn't go exactly their way. And to their credit, the right understands the implications of the Supreme Court far more than the left does, and to a certain extent, that's why we have a right-wing Supreme Court.
I just want to highlight one last thing from this clip. Did you see David Brody's face after Mike Pence announced that they were going to reveal a new list of conservative judges that they wanted to appoint? He got like a little titillated there.
Yeah, he was really excited. Play this again. He was really excited. A second list.
Destiny of the Supreme Court is on the ballot in 2020. And that's why President Trump announced that he's going to publish another list of men and women from which he will draw any future appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States.
You know what that honestly looks like to me?
Of men.
That looks like to me like, yeah, I know. You and I have been drawing up that list with our friends from the Heritage Foundation. Like, I bet, it strikes me like a guy like Brody could be involved in that. He gets a couple of names on that list. He's super excited. There's the list.
These are two guys who like a good list.
All right.